Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So before we invoke the auspiciousness, we have now technique in place. You can also recite this wonderful prayer. This is a very nice prayer. This shows our humility. And yeah, so we can go further. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langyate girim
Pangum langate giri.
yat kripatam ham vande
Yat kripatamaham vande.
Paramanand Madhavam.
Paramananda madhavam.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya
Om ajnanatimirandhasya.
Jnananjana Salakya
Jnananjanachalakaya.
Chakshur Unmilitam Yena
Kshuranmilitam yena.
Tasmai Sri Gurve Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya
Namo Vishnupadaya.
Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale
Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale.
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Paschatya Desikari Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Thank you very much, everyone. Once again, welcome to this session, the first session on Bhagavad Gita. And yeah, as I discussed in the beginning, that we will have 18 chapters in 18 days. And we will have nice overviews of each chapters, the main message from each chapter, the motivational stories of the great personalities who have already read Bhagavad Gita. We can learn from their lives. So it will be very inspiring, very consistent, very authentic sessions from the authentic teachers, which we have learned. And before we begin to the main session, I would like to just discuss some guidelines that please try to make some notes, because you will find some interesting facts and interesting knowledge which you can recall later on if you make the notes. Please be attentive in the class, because when we are attentive, when we are inattentive, we become more inattentive. And when we are attentive, we can grasp the main essence of the teachings. And please don't take any worry. Please don't worry. Sometimes, actually, we have a wide variety of audience here in this course. This information about the course was spread to various like universities, like different societies, different communities. And we have now a large variety of the audience here in this course. We have some people I can see also online, and I also got their WhatsApp message, they are joining. So some people who are joining this course, they have read Bhagavad Gita 10 times already. And they are very thorough. They are applying in the life. Even they are very much senior to me. I have full respect for them. And I said, why you are joining? And they say, yeah, we want to have a new perspective and new ideas. We want to be connected. And it is a blessing for me that such people are also online here, that they have so much experience from, not only from Germany, we have people from different part of Europe, because in the online now, if somebody sees the flyers, they immediately, if they are interested, they save it. So I have requests from Spain, France, Belgium, Holland, that you are doing this course, we are joining. So we have people from across the Europe here, and very senior people who have read Bhagavad Gita many times. They are here, so I respect them. I thank them to joining and getting their blessings. And on the other hand, we have some people here who has never read Bhagavad Gita. I was getting some queries like, oh, can you suggest some book? What is this book? Who is the author of this book? So I was getting these queries on WhatsApp, because some people are getting the message who has never read it. So of course, this is a good question. Yeah, it's a very valid question. And I respect them also that they are joining. And now we have some people in the middle that they have, in the bits and pieces, they have learned from somewhere. They have read half, or they have read some version of Bhagavad Gita, some message they have got, management lesson or some other lesson from Bhagavad Gita. So there are people also who know Bhagavad Gita, they have heard Bhagavad Gita, but they are not maybe deeply studied Bhagavad Gita, or maybe only a particular perspective they got from Bhagavad Gita. So I have a large variety of the audience here, and it's very, very difficult to cater such a large variety of audience. I need your blessings actually from all of you, that I can present it as it is in an authentic way, and also I can satisfy everyone little bit. I don't know if fully, but at least some way I want to satisfy everyone, because you are all taking your very, very valuable time. So one thing I want to mention for the people who have read Bhagavad Gita many times, sometimes they will find very simple things here on the slides, no? Very, very simple concepts, things. Yeah, I know this, I know this. This is boring for me. Actually, sometimes you may feel boring, but you will get some good lessons, because every time when someone presents, he has a different source of literatures, learning from different other commentaries and different other teachers. And then we bring a new perspective, a new depth, or new ideas, concepts, flow. So there will be always something for even for the experienced readers. So who have little experienced reader, they can also get something out of this. And those who has never read Bhagavad Gita, maybe they might get some difficulty. They may face, oh, this is too much philosophical. Oh, I don't know this text. Am I really a right audience for this? This is too flexible. Yeah, what is going on here? Different concepts are spoken, philosophy is spoken. I was thinking it's very easy. Of course, there it is easy and difficult both. It is sometimes become difficult when some deep philosophy is being discussed. So don't lose your heart. Don't lose your patience. Be determined. Come to all the sessions. I'm sure when we are reading, going through, the slides are made in such a way that when we are going through this one by one, session by session, even those who are feeling some difficulty, they will get their answers. I can guarantee this. In first session, I can guarantee you can get answer of all your questions when you go through slowly and gradually, chapter by chapter, slok by slok, and then we will see that. And I will try to also offline also I will take the questions. So we will have some chance that after the session, I will make some interaction here. So this will be an interactive session. So that's why I said be attentive, because I may also ask some questions in between. I have prepared many, many small questions, and I will keep on putting questions to you to judge your presence here, that you are available. Also, not only for on-site I'm talking, I'm also talking to our online guest also. So our hall is full here in Gauradesh, our temple room, and a lot of devotees are here who will also interact with me, as well as I want to interact the online, because online we have around 68 70 participants. This is already a big response for the first session. Yes, so with these boundary conditions we can move further. That people are, I want to also say, not only there are people with new to Bhagavad Gita and very senior to Bhagavad Gita that they have read, there are also some participants who have different faith, different religious beliefs, different regions. They are also here. They want to also learn, because Bhagavad Gita is a very universal book. It's not something, a special cult or special person can read. So that's why everybody is interested to know Bhagavad Gita. So there are some people, like I mentioned, now they ask me who is the author, how we find, and what is the background. So I said, come to the session and then you will know. So there are people who have different faith, belief, and different culture, So we have to respect all the cultures, all the faiths, all the beliefs, and we have to be very respectful to all, and try to be in a very friendly environment. At the end, we will have a question and answer session. So please note down your questions. The benefit of making notes is some of the audience are already making some serious people I see already with a copy pen, and you have also maybe something you can organize or you can make the notes. Or maybe next time when you come, you can bring copy pen, and it's better than mobile, because in mobile you can very quickly go away anywhere, Instagram or something. I have no notes, but I can share. Yes, of course, we have a group. So in the group, I can share the summaries actually. Some summaries we can make, and I can share. And you can also ask your questions. We can make a separate group. If everybody is not interesting to make a question answer, they don't want to too many messages in the group. Some people get fed up. Yes, too many messages. This is not for me. So for them, what we do, we have a community, Bhagavad Gita community, and we make a separate group, question answer group only, interaction group or discussion group, and where everybody can put your questions and we can try to answer it. If I don't know the answer, I will ask to my seniors. They are also here, some of them. So His Grace Neela Madhav Prabhu is here, our temple president, giving personally his time, and he's always blessing me, inspiring me to do this course. I was fearing how I will handle, how I will do, and he's putting the full faith. Yeah, you can do it. Just start it. So because of his blessings, we have Her Grace Leelamrita Mataji here. Yeah, we have Bhakta Royal here. So nice, wonderful devotees. They are always inspiring to me. And Mataji is here. Such wonderful Mataji. Gudran Mataji, such a senior visitor to the Gauradesh. So we have Rishabh Prabhu, so many devotees here. And yeah, if I don't know the answer, I can also take their help. And now I go to one of the slides.
Where?
Actually,
The
first
temple.
I would like to ask a question to all of you. I start with a question actually. That is Bhagavad Gita a religious book or a spiritual book? What is your answer? Srishti, can you collect, maybe the devotees, the people who are joining online, they can write their answer in the chat box, and Srishti is hosting the session. She will note all the answers and she will announce then. So please write in your chat box, is Bhagavad Gita a religious book or it's a spiritual book? So I'm already getting some answers, but I will not announce here because people are already answering online. Okay.
So I have not read the Bhagavad Gita, but I know a very close friend of mine who has read it, and he often mentions that just like how we have an instruction manual for an electronic device, the Bhagavad Gita is like an instruction manual for the human body, like how we have to live our life, how we have to approach it. So it's like an instruction manual.
Yeah. So he has a different perspective. I will also come to his point during the class, of course. Thank you very much. What's your name, Prabhu? Rahul. Oh, very wonderful, Rahul. Thank you so much for bringing out this point here. Yes, there are. Srishti, can you see some answers? I can already hear some answers here online, on site in the temple.
Yeah, most of them are saying spiritual.
Oh, there are 39 answers, 39 responses. Wonderful. So what is the majority, Srishti? Can you tell us? Spiritual, yeah. Srishti says it's a spiritual book, and some says also religious. Actually, it depends on how you make a definition of the religion here. If you are making a broad definition of the religion, it's also a religious book. But sometimes people say religion is particular faith, a particular set of rituals, a particular set of practices in particular time, circumstances. Yeah, but this book is not depending on any particular time, particular place, or particular circumstances, particular faith, particular belief, particular way of following something. It is not like this. I will say broadly, it's a spiritual book because it is applicable in all times, all places, in all circumstances, and it's a eternal wisdom. It's a eternal. When something is eternal, and this is spiritual, spirit is eternal, and then being spiritual is being eternal. So it's a eternal wisdom, timeless wisdom, and I will say majorly it's a spiritual book. And here I will come to a very famous personality, and this famous personality, his name is Robert Charles Senner. You can see my screen, and he's a professor in the Oxford University. He has done a lot of research in philosophies of the Eastern philosophies, many Oriental philosophies. And this great personality, this great person, philosopher, he has said something about Bhagavad Gita. You have your own opinion, and now his opinion we should listen. Srishti, can you please read out for all of us? Maybe a little bit louder so that, because I don't have an extra loudspeaker for computer.
Of the sacred books of the Hindus, the Bhagavad Gita is the most widely read and probably the most important text for the understanding of Eastern mysticism.
Yes. So this person is a great philosopher, and he's not Hindu. He's a very neutral person, and he has written a special comment about Bhagavad Gita from Oxford University, that of the all sacred books of the Hindus, the Bhagavad Gita is the most widely read and probably the most important text for understanding of the Eastern mysticism. And now we see what actually we understand from Bhagavad Gita. In this whole presentation, we will discuss 5 questions, the 5 main parts or 5 main sections. And one of the section is, who all read Bhagavad Gita? Who has read Bhagavad Gita? Because when we know who has read, then we can learn from their lives also, from their case studies, and we can see how was their personality, how is their attitude, how is their, so was there any change in their life by reading Bhagavad Gita? So we should know who are the personality who have read Bhagavad Gita. Then second question, second section of this session is, why Bhagavad Gita was spoken, why it was spoken by the Lord, by the Supreme Truth and Supreme Lord. What was the reason? What were the conditions? Then the third question is, why it is important for me, for my personal life. Why should I? You have to ask, yeah, others have done, it's okay, because for them maybe it's important, but is it something for me also? This is a very important question. We will also answer this question. Then next is, we will have a bird's eye view of different chapters. Yeah, we will some interesting facts and figures about Bhagavad Gita, because this is the first chapter, first session of the whole series. We will try to get some interesting insights, some interesting facts, some secrets of Bhagavad Gita. What is Bhagavad Gita? What is the glories of Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, and these all 5 sections will explain about this. Let us see now what we will do when we are discussing Bhagavad Gita. I want to give some examples of the personalities who are current personalities in today's world. I will talk about today's world. Then I will go 100 to 100 years later. Then I will also go 1,000 years later, 1,500 years later. So who were the personalities who applied Bhagavad Gita, used Bhagavad Gita, preached Bhagavad Gita today, 100, 200 years before, and 500, 1,000 or 1,500 years before? And who are those personalities? So we will discuss them. You already see some people, actually there are thousands, millions have read Bhagavad Gita around the world, and many thousands are famous personalities out of them, not one or two. I have just put 2, 3, 5 pictures, but many thousands are famous personalities and great personalities, the inspiring personalities, the examples, the leaders. They are reading Bhagavad Gita. I just choose few very spontaneously. So please forgive me if you think someone in your mind and this is not here. He is not here. So I want to get forgiveness. But here you will get a like little bit glimpse. First one is this business coach, Vivek Bindra, Dr. Vivek Bindra. He is a business coach, and he's always talking. He's a very famous personality. He has millions of followers on YouTube all across the world, and he's a business coach and motivational speaker, and he's following Bhagavad Gita in his life. He's talking about Bhagavad Gita, all his motivational speaks, all his, even he has done a seminar where on online seminar, Zoom seminar or online platform, which was the largest viewed seminar on business yoga from Bhagavad Gita, the largest viewed globally. And this got Guinness Book of World Records. This seminar by Vivek Bindra, Dr. Vivek Bindra, largest live viewed, not viewed like, somebody put a thumb or somebody make a like, okay, viewed on like millions of views on YouTube. No, it was a live viewed, like we are doing today, na, live session. So this was a live viewed, which got the Guinness Book of World Record. It was just 2, 3 years before he did this. And he was doing it, Bhagavad Gita for business yoga. Then we have Ford owner, Mr. Alfred Ford. You know this personality. He is the owner of the Ford Motor Company, USA. And he uses Bhagavad Gita as his life and soul. He has a completely Vedic lifestyle. We have a big respect for him. He's a very great personality in today's modern world. Yeah, Dr. Mr. Albert Ford. And he, his company, I am actually a scientist in the automotive industry, and that's why I know him very well. I visited him actually in USA, in Detroit, and in his headquarters in Dearborn. It's called Detroit and Michigan, Dearborn. They have a big headquarter of Ford. And I was impressed actually. Like, he's running such a big company, and his life is completely based on Bhagavad Gita, completely, purely. And he produced He's responsible, and he's actually behind the first production car of the whole world. In 1908, more than 100 years before, more than 120 years before, he made the first production car of the world, the T model. Maybe some of you know T model, Ford T model. And this Ford T model was the first production car of this world, of the modern world. And this was his contribution, or his father's actually. His father was mainly that time. Now he's the second or third generation probably. So Mr. Ford, we talk. Then we have a politician, Tulsi Gabbard. You know all of them. She is now also part of the administration in USA, and she follows Bhagavad Gita also very deeply, talks openly Bhagavad Gita in international platforms. Then we have a very great scientist. It is covered here. The name is not visible. I will see if I can do something. Yes, this great scientist is Dr. T.D. Singh. This Dr. T.D. Singh is actually he was a spiritual person, and he was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he did lot of international conferences on science and religion, on world peace conferences, and he has authored many books. And his main contribution is how to systematize, how to synchronize science and spirituality. This was his main contribution. He has many books, and I have all his books. I am one of his fan. Yeah, Dr. T.D. Singh. His name was Bhakti Damodar Maharaj. Then we have, yeah, one of the famous YouTube personality, life coach. His name is Gaur Gopal Prabhu. You can see he is also very famous on internet and talks about Bhagavad Gita, motivational speaker and life coach. Then we have, yeah, a research author. His name is Misael Cremo. He's a research scientist and author. A lot of research on human evolution, how the human beings have been risen in the history of human race. So he has done a lot of research on the human consciousness, human evolution. So we see so many personalities here, the modern personalities. Now I will go to next slide, where we talk about the personalities who were 100 years before us, or in that direction, history. We have this personality called Henry David Thoreau. He's an American poet, author, and philosopher. And he has admired Bhagavad Gita actually very much. He has followed Bhagavad Gita teachings, Henry David Thoreau. Then we have J. Robert Oppenheimer. You know, many of you know about him. He was a scientist, atomic scientist. And we have then Annie Besant. Annie Besant is a activist, social activist, and she is a speaker of the women rights. She was also very much active in many freedom struggles of the developing countries. Annie Besant, very nice personality. She also had used teachings of Bhagavad Gita very deeply in her life. Then Gandhiji, everybody knows, he's a social reformer, freedom fighter, and great personality. Gandhiji, great personality of this century. Then we have Ralph Waldo Emerson. Ralph Waldo Emerson is actually American essayist, lecturer, and poet. And George Harrison. George Harrison was the lead of Beatles, the famous music band Beatles International. He was the lead, Beatles, and he was a founder member of the Beatles, and he actually follows Bhagavad Gita in his life, and he propagated Bhagavad Gita, and he sings songs from Bhagavad Gita, the devotional songs, and make them world famous, the best hit, bestseller. Now we go to the some quote from the great personality Mahatma Gandhi ji. He is social reformer and freedom fighter. What he says about Bhagavad Gita. Srishti, can you read it?
When doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare me in the face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me, and I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow.
Yes. So here Mahatma Gandhiji says, when I'm lost, when I'm confused, when I'm in trouble. Such a great personality, he leaded millions and millions of the people. He leaded in his life in a very peaceful way, and he has a special way of his movement, very admired. And yeah, and he says, when I'm confused, when I'm lost, I open the verse of Bhagavad Gita. I get my guidance from Bhagavad Gita. This person is getting his guidance from Bhagavad Gita. So that means Bhagavad Gita can help every one of us. It's not inspiring. Is it not inspiring to all of us that such great people use Bhagavad Gita in their lives? Now we go to the next. I told you that we will talk about some modern personalities. We talk with someone who is little recent history, like Mahatma Gandhi, Oppenheimer, all these, George Beatles. And now we talk with really ancient personalities. So I have one question. We have 4 personalities. Who is the first personality? Can you write in your chat box, all the online participant? Who is the first personality? Who?
Radha Shankaracharya.
Okay. So the first personality is Adi Shankaracharya. He's very famous and he has a great contribution to the Vedic knowledge. And he has also, Bhagavad Gita was originally, I will tell this thing also later, maybe it will come. So don't want to break the flow now. He has a lot of contribution for Bhagavad Gita. Then we have a next personality. Who is the next personality, please?
Nimbarkacharya.
Who's?
Nimbarkacharya.
No, Nimbarkacharya is a great personality as well, but he's not in this picture. Okay, then some other, maybe somebody can write in the chat box. Srishti, you see some answers? The second personality?
Ramanujacharya.
Ramanujacharya, correct.
Wonderful, wonderful answer, Ramanujacharya. He's a great Vaishnava saint, and he was born around in the 1100th century, in the 11th century, in Sri Perumbudur in Tamil Nadu, and he gave the great philosophy, and he made a commentary on Bhagavad Gita also, and yeah, he has a great contribution. Everybody knows him. Then we have a next great personality. Who is this great personality? Be slow for the for the otherwise you will leak the answer. Oh, somebody is typing actually on the screen. Please, I have to erase it. Please don't type on the screen. Yes, thank you. Yes, who is the next personality? Srishti, somebody wrote answers in the chat box.
Yes.
You can also speak maybe in the session.
Madhvacharya.
Oh, wonderful. So many has written Madhvacharya as answer. And here we have also wonderful devotees, and they are also saying Madhvacharya, many of them. He was a great personality, Madhvacharya. He gave a great philosophy, actually, of Vaishnavism. And he also wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, very deep commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And he was born in Udupi. Yeah, he was born in 1238. Here, yeah, there are some historians says 1199 and some says 1238 in Udupi in Karnataka. There is a Udupi temple there, Krishna temple. Udupi is one of the biggest center in India. And now we have a next personality. Who is the next personality? Who will answer? Can you please type your answers or speak up? Please speak up, the online participants.
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your answer. So we have all these great personalities who has followed the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. They have propagated Bhagavad Gita, and yes, they have accepted Bhagavad Gita as one of the supreme scripture. Now, I have interesting thing actually. I want to keep you current, as per current topic. What this picture shows? Please answer. What does it? What you can see in this picture?
Gangaji.
Hari bol. Who has spoken this? Please tell the name. Some wonderful kid. What is your name? Please again.
Rachana.
Archana.
Rachana.
Rachna. Oh, Rachna. Thank you so much. Thank you. You have Gangaji. Wonderful. Anybody else want to say something? Guess something?
Kumbh Mela Aarti, maybe.
Yeah, very much. We have Rudra here, our little wonder. And this little wonder is saying, Rudra says Gangaji, and he has also elaborated further. It's a Ganga Aarti, Mahakumbh. Yes, yes. I know you know everything. Yes. So this is a Ganga. Sissy, you are saying something from the chat box?
Yeah, someone, Dipali Mataji is saying Kumbh Mela.
Very nice. Wonderful. Yes. Kumbh Mela just started today, 18th, na? Started 14th. On very auspicious day of Makar Sankranti. We have started this Kumbh Mela. I try to give you a glimpse of the actual situation. And this is a Ganga Ji, Ganga Maiya. We say Mother Ganga. She is a very pure river, very holy river. Now my question is, why we take a holy bath in Ganges? And in the meantime, I want to tell, right now in the Kumbh, there are 400 million visitors are planned. 400 million, 4 crore visitors are planned. Such a big, this is the biggest spiritual mela, spiritual festival of the whole world. Oh, I have read many reports. Okay, 1.5 crore every day. I am hearing here from Vivek Prabhu. Yes, so I heard 40 crore, 40 crore or like something 400 million actually. Yeah. 40 crore I heard, and you are right, Vivek. Yes. So yes, why we take bath actually? Why we take holy bath? Rudra, tell please. Yeah, wonderful. See, a 9-year-old child is answering such wonderful philosophy. So we have such elevated people here, that he's such wonderfully and so confidently. So he's saying, Rudra is saying he's a 9-year-old child, and he says, we take bath in the holy river because it washes away our bad karmas, but our bad actions. So he means to say it purifies us. It purifies us. And then there are people who go for taking bath. He go to Haridwar and Gangotri sometime for the spiritual picnic. Also, some people do spiritual picnic. Some people also do water sport. In the Ganga, they go for water sport. They enjoy it. But anyway, anybody do water sport or spiritual picnic, Ganga is purifying. She is purifying. You go for whatever purpose, she will purify because it is her nature. It is her nature. It has purity, and she's she is bacteria free. There is no bacteria in her water like some spoiling agents, and you can keep the water for long months, many months or years in the container, and it remains fresh, ever fresh. It purifies everything. But other waters, it will make smell after some months or some days. You have to keep in special bottles with nitrogen and inert gas packing. Otherwise, it will not work. But Ganga water is very purifying, is bacteria free, is all refreshing. When we take bath in Ganga river, then it gives all refreshment. It's a retreat for the body, a nourishment for the body. So it's such a wonderful, to take bath in holy river. And now you will think, why I'm talking about Ganga Devi here and Kumbh Mela here? We are talking Bhagavad Gita. Why Ganga Maiya? I changed the topic. I have not changed the topic, dear friends and devotees. I'm on the topic, and I will go to the next slide. Here, Sri Adi Shankaracharya says, it's a wonderful verse, Gita Mahatamya. He has written 9 golden verses about the glorification of Bhagavad Gita. Sri Adi Shankaracharya. And this verse says, you can also recite with me together. Bharatamrita sarvaswam Vishnu Vaktrad Vinisritam Gita Gangodakam Pitva Janmana Vidyate. Yes. This is a sloka, Gita Mahatmya, the glorification of Bhagavad Gita, sloka by Sri Adi Shankaracharya. And this says, I will go line by line. It's wonderful meditation, and you will enjoy. It says, Bharata Mrita Sarvaswam. What does it mean? It says Bharata Mrita. Bharat means here Mahabharat. There is a scripture called Mahabharat. I will come to this Mahabharat scripture in this slides later on. If somebody don't know, also from the online participants and offline participants, if you don't know about Mahabharat scripture, I will give some details later on. It's a Vedic scripture, and Bhagavad Gita is part of the scripture, and this is Bharata Amrita Sarvaswam. This Gita, this Bhagavad Gita is the Amrit, is the nectar from this great scripture Mahabharata. It's the Amrit nectar out of it. If Mahabharata is a holy river, and then we take the holy, like the nectar, then is the Gita. Or we can say Mahabharata is a milk, and this is the butter. Bhagavad Gita is the butter of Mahabharata. Butter is the essence of milk. You churn the milk, you make a yogurt and churn it and make a butter, and this is the final extract. And it's the essence of Mahabharata. Then next line says, Vishnu Vaktrad Vinisritam. Vishnu Vaktrad Vinistam. It says, it has emanated, it has come through the lotus mouth of Sri Vishnu, Sri Krishna, who is telling this to Arjuna, his disciple Arjuna in Kurukshetra. Vishnu Vaktrad Vinisritam. This Amrita, this nectar has come from the lotus mouth of Vishnu, Krishna himself. Gita Gangodakam Pitva. Gita Gangodakam. Ganga. Now you see the word Ganga here. Why I talk about Ganga? Ganga is all purifying. When we take the water of Ganga, you take snan, you take bath, or you drink little bit Ganga water, one spoon only. It is all purifying. It takes all the sins, as Rudra says so nicely. Ganga Dukam Pitva. When we drink this nectar from the mouth of the lotus mouth of the Lord Krishna, it is all purifying. It is very beneficial to us, like Ganga water. Ganga water is actually emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord, and Bhagavad Amritam, Bhagavad nectar is emanating from the lotus mouth of the Lord. And what happens with this? When we get from the lotus mouth of the Lord this nectar, then what is effect? What does it do? It says, last line, Punarjanma na vidyate. When we drink this nectar of Bhagavad Gita from the lotus mouth of Lord Sri Krishna, but you will ask me, how we can drink this Bhagavad Gita? It is a book. How can we still drink it? Ganga water we can drink. Drinking is a very philosophical, very poetic word, that you drink the nectar. It's compared to nectar. So we are drinking it through our ears. Sravanam. There are 9 ways of devotional service, 9 ways of practicing spirituality, and one way is called Samram. Yeah, it is called Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Archanam, Vandanam, Atmanivedanam. So there are processes. I will not go in detail because this class is Bhagavad Gita, but we can explain it later. There are many processes, like Sravanam is like hearing from the ear, hearing the sacred slokas, sacred lectures, sacred classes about devotees, the great people. This is called Sravanam, about the Lord, about the great personalities, the devotees of the Lord. And then it is called Kirtanam. Kirtan is when we tell the glories. One is Sravanam, one is saying Kirtanam, and then Smaranam, always remembering in the mind. So there are many processes. And here it says, Gita Gangodakam Pitva. We are drinking this nectar of Gita through our ears, by Sravanam, by hearing process. This is called process of hearing. And Punarjanma Vidyate, if we do this, then there is no birth again in the material existence. This material existence is called existence of ignorance, because in the material existence, there are 4 things which are happening with all of the living entities. And these 4 things are birth, old age, disease, and death. Everybody has to die. Everybody has to die. Everybody has to become old. Everybody has to get some disease. There is no one who has no disease in this world. So it is in Sanskrit, Krishna says to Arjuna in one of the slokas, Janam Mirtyu Jara Vyadham. Janam Mirtyu Jara Vyadhi Dukh Dos Anudarsanam. So Janam, Mirtyu, Jara Vyadhi. Birth, old age, disease, and death. These are the real problems of the existence. The problem is not that today we have a cold weather in Germany. Oh, this is so cold. This is too cold. This is not the big problem. We can bear the cold. Yeah. It is too hot. It is windy. People have these problems every day. You know, when I go to office, yeah, I ask you, how are you? Es is so cold. Es is windy. Es regnet. Yeah. So people are just thinking these are the problems. This is not the problem. We can deal with this. The real problem is that we are again and again coming in the existence, material existence. We are again and again getting old. We are getting disease. We are getting death. This is the big problem. We have to solve this problem. This is a fundamental problem. And this problem, as per the great personality, Sri Adi Shankaracharya, he says this problem can be solved permanently by studying Bhagavad Gita. This is the essence of this sloka. I will not go in detail of philosophy about this life, death, and this will come in Bhagavad Gita in great details later on, those who are new. So please just listen patiently, it will come. Those who are not aware about the philosophy, maybe for them it is a little heavy or what. I'm talking about these permanent problems, but this will come later on in the main chapters, these topics. Yeah, there is another wonderful personality, a great personality. She is Mata Parvati. She is Mother Parvati. She is wife of Lord Shiva. And in Padam Purana is one of the 18 Puranas. And what she says, she's asking to her husband, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a great personality. And she's asking to, my dear husband, I want to listen about glories of Bhagavad Gita. She's asking this. There's a question answer going on between Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, his consort, his wife. And Lord Shiva is answering in this Gita Mahatmya Slok from Padam Purana. And what Parvati is saying, like, my dear husband, you know all the transcendental truths, and by your mercy, I have heard the glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Oh Lord, now I long to hear from you the glories of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken by Lord Krishna, and by hearing means Sravanam, and by hearing which one's devotion to Lord Krishna increases. This is told by the greatest personality of this material world, Parvati, the Durga Devi, the material energy of the Lord. She is saying, I want to hear about Bhagavad Gita. Oh Lord Shiva, oh my dear husband, please tell me the glories of Bhagavad Gita. And she want to hear. You know, all the great personalities, they want to hear. They want to hear the glories. And this is mentioned here by hearing, Sravanam. And Lord Shiva will do Kirtanam, and Parvati ji will do Sravanam. So this is Kirtanam and Sravanam. Now I will go to the next slide. And the next slide gives the first lesson of this section. And the section lesson is, Krishna is great, Arjuna is great, Krishna is telling, Arjuna is listening. The teaching is great, teaching is Bhagavad Gita. So speaker is great, Krishna, Arjuna is great, the listener. The teaching, Bhagavad Gita is great. Everything about Gita is great. But Bhagavad Gita can thus make our life great. So this is the teaching of the first section, but I will not say that we have to prove it actually. This is written here. Krishna is great, Arjuna is great, teaching is great. But we have to see how Krishna is great, how Arjuna is great, and how Bhagavad Gita is great. That we will see, and how it can make our life great. Right now, it's just as a statement. You can note down. We have to prove at the end of the 18th chapter, was this statement correct? We have to see, all of us. We will be together in this journey. And now I will go to the next slide. This is a wonderful slide. And this slide, you can see different kind of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, as you know now, Bhagavad Gita is the largest commented spiritual book in the whole world, which is testified by all the great personalities and philosophers and modern people, writers, philosophers, scientists. And many versions of Bhagavad Gita is written. There are more than 2,000 to 2,500 different versions of Bhagavad Gita. 2,000 to 2,500. It's a big, big thing. And I have taken some examples out of them. And every author of Bhagavad Gita, they have given their own perspective of Bhagavad Gita. They have understood in their own way. They have some purpose in their life, some little purpose, some purpose. They want to satisfy their purpose. They want to get the answer. And then they read, and then they make a book out of it. That because it solved their problem. So, okay, this book says only this. So, for example, somebody who is in the business line, who is doing business, who is a business management person, who is a professional, he will get business lessons from Bhagavad Gita. His focus is getting business from Bhagavad Gita. Then someone who is a psychologist, doctor, psychologist, he has to deal with so many patients and depression, stress. He will take the lesson of psychology, how to release stress, depression. Yeah, these lessons are taken by people and they write their own commentaries. Then there are people who want to have, they have problems in relationships and they want to solve others' problems also. In the relationship, in the social relationship, family relationships, private or public relationships. And these people has written Bhagavad Gita to solve the relationship problems in life. Then there are people who want to get leadership lessons from Bhagavad Gita. How Bhagavad Gita can help in leadership, how to develop leadership. Krishna has shown great leadership qualities. Arjuna is also having great leadership qualities. How we can learn? What are the slokas we can get from leadership qualities from Bhagavad Gita? And there are people who also get Ayurveda lifestyle from Bhagavad Gita. There are some Bhagavad Gita, they say that Bhagavad Gita gives Ayurvedic lifestyle. How we can live our life Ayurvedic, how can we extend our life, live longer, live healthier. This is also given Bhagavad Gita. You can see like, Ayurveda topics are there, different topics are there about Bhagavad Gita. But I have one question here, my dear friends and devotees. My question is that Bhagavad Gita is one book. The slokas are fixed. Nobody can change the slokas. It is a 700 slokas. I will tell later. Sorry, I had some quiz about it, but I told already. So in Bhagavad Gita, there are fixed slokas. They are spoken by a fixed person, Krishna, and they are listened by a fixed person, Arjuna. So the message should be fixed. Why there are so many versions? 2000, 2500 versions. If the slokas are fixed, speaker is fixed, listener is fixed, message should be fixed. My question is, did Lord Krishna spoke the message of Bhagavad Gita with a particular purpose in the mind? Do has a central purpose in the mind, Krishna? Or he said, oh, I want to say some nice things to Arjuna. I have some time in the middle of the war. So let us talk some nice things. So let us Arjuna talk some nice things in middle of the war. And I want to give you some life lessons. You can increase your life. So Ayurvedic things and all that. Yeah, of course we can get those messages, but what is there any central message of Bhagavad Gita, or anybody can take as per their understanding, as per their perspective, as per their requirements? Okay, I noted your point. Then anybody else can want to answer this? Do Bhagavad Gita has different understandings, or it has a central understanding? So maybe we go. Maybe we can get this answer also by a very famous personality. And yeah, so many additions are there, but we have this great personality here. His name is Robert N. Minor. And this personality, Robert N. Minor, he is a very independent personality. He is a Gita expert. Actually, he knows as a Gita expert. He has read different kind of Bhagavad Gitas, different versions of Bhagavad Gitas from different authors, and he make a comprehensive comparative study of different Bhagavad Gitas. He's such a nice person. He make a comparative study of different Bhagavad Gitas, and he's not a Hindu, and he's not a biased person. He's an unbiased person. He's a neutral person. He don't belong to any society or any mission or any special group. So he's quite independent person, and we should listen his Meinung, his opinion, what he want to say about Bhagavad Gita. And he says about Bhagavad Gita, where after reading different kind of Bhagavad Gita, he says Prabhupada's Gita probably comes closest to the intent of original author. So what Mr. Minor, he says Prabhupada's Gita probably comes closest to the intent of the original author. So this is a big statement actually, because he has compared all the Bhagavad Gitas and he has made a comparative study. And after the comparative study, he says Bhagavad Gita as it is the most closest to the intended purpose of its intended purpose. And that's why for the course, we have chosen this Bhagavad Gita as a reference book for our 18 days Bhagavad Gita course, one chapter every day, that we will use the reference book Bhagavad Gita as it is, because it is also recommended by an independent personality and expert of Bhagavad Gita, and many acharyas have also recommended. And now actually there is two things. I want to ask you two questions. One is, what is the real purpose of Gita? And why is this book important for me? There are two questions. But before I ask the answer to you, I want to little bit explain the questions more specifically, little bit more, to the point. What is the purpose of Gita? I want to give some examples to explain it to the point. So we have this slide, and there is a question here. And the question is, there is a garret here, equipment, instrument. It is a telephone or a mobile phone or smartphone. I want to ask you one question. What is the purpose of mobile phone? What we do with the mobile phone? Now, please type your answers or speak your answers in the lecture, and everybody can answer. What is the purpose of mobile phone?
Or if you want to order something, yeah, you can also.
Wonderful. So Rudra is saying here, our 9-year-old super wonder kid, he's saying that we can use mobile phone for online shopping. We can use mobile phone buying something. We can use mobile phone for calling, connecting. We can use mobile phone attending Bhagavad Gita sessions. This is the best use of the mobile phone. Normally we attend a lot of things. We can use mobile phone, social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. We can use mobile phone many purposes. Even some people use mobile phone, as a mirror, as a spiegel. Like there is a function there, spiegel function, camera, yeah. And there are many features in the mobile phone. And now there is a latest feature in the mobile phone where one company has put a mobile phone with a camera. This camera is an X-ray, like they do the X-ray report, Röntgen, X-ray, Röntgen build, Röntgen build. And this X-ray, that they can see internal things. So this camera has a special feature that in the mobile, this is the latest phone. I don't know the company, but they put this phone, and I don't know its mass production or as a limited production. Huh? Maybe. So there is a camera which can give an X-ray report, like your body scanning. And this is like, you go to the airport and you scan your baggage in the X-ray machine and you see everything what is inside the luggage. And now you can have a phone where you can scan the things, but it can have a misuse, actually, misuse of the technology, because someone can scan their body, other bodies, like body of other opposite sex or something. Then this will be a really bad purpose. And technology is doing like this. Now we see already the examples, if there is such things. But anyway, the purpose is, as Rudra Prabhu says, and many other people, everybody of you agree, connecting, Instagram, social media, buying, shopping, online, attending courses, classes. There are so many purposes, and Chat GPT, Gemini, so many things, taking pictures, selfies. This is the purpose of the mobile phone. But I have now one more question. What is the purpose of a mobile phone? Who decides the purpose of the mobile phone? Who is the one who decides what is the purpose? What is purpose of my mobile phone? Owner. Who is the owner? Like owner, the person who is using, he decide. Any other answers? Who decide what should be the purpose of that particular model of mobile phone? Creator. One person says that Rahul Prabhu, no? Rahul Prabhu. So Mr. Rahul says that the creator, the manufacturer, the hairstyler, he decides what is the purpose. What is the purpose of the mobile phone? Are you agree with me? Anybody who is having a different opinion, they can directly speak. But finally, when it is designed at a designing state, so when the mobile phone is designed, the manufacturer, the hairstyler, the producer, he decides what is the purpose of this mobile phone. He knows what my mobile will do. And then users can use it, what he has done inside, what he has created. Users cannot decide, Rudra. We cannot decide because we are just users. We are dependent on the manufacturer, what he has given. We can just do what he has given to us. And out of those options, we can decide what we do, but we cannot go beyond him. So the hairstyler, the main person who is designing can decide. Similarly, if the Bhagavad Gita is made, who decides what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Can we decide what is purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Or the person who has given Bhagavad Gita, who has created Bhagavad Gita, he decides what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. In this case, it is Lord Sri Krishna who has spoken Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So he has some intention in mind. He has some central message in mind, what Bhagavad Gita should do. Like, a mobile phone, somebody can use mobile phone as a mirror. Somebody can mobile phone, when two persons are fighting with each other in angry, they can throw each other on mobile phone. Somebody can use mobile phone for eating samosas, as a plate. I put and Somebody can use mobile phone paperweight, paper weight. The papers are flying in the air, though he put paperweight mobile. Mobile cannot be used for paperweight. Mobile cannot be used for as a plate for samosas. I cannot use my iPad for putting samosas and eating samosas over it. And my phone, I'm angry and hitting somebody with a phone. This is a misuse. This is called misuse. Manufacturer never wanted somebody will throw the mobile phone to hit someone. Somebody will use eating samosas over mobile phone. So there is a purpose, and purpose is known by the manufacturer, the hairstyler. I want to say, if some devotees getting late or has to leave, they can eat. The prasadam is available here, and wonderful prasadam is there. So they should take prasadam, please. And we will finish the session in some more time because it's a first introduction session, taking some time because I have to make the background. So I request everybody stay, and we continue it. Maybe in half an hour we will finish anyway. So we will leave all together from here. Online guests are already there from their comfort at home. For them, no problem. For the on-site, yes. For on-site, the prasadam is organized enough, so you can take prasadam. Yeah. Can we read it? When we maybe Rudra, you can read for people here. Can you read?
We know the Gita manual of we live better.
Yes. So when we know the manual of a product, we use it better. When we know Gita, the manual of the life, we live better. So Bhagavad Gita is a manual of our life. And when we use our life, when we work with our life as per instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then we make our life successful. When we use the intended purpose of our life, we have seen in the case of mobile phone, if we make a misuse, we make a overuse, underuse, misuse, then what happens? It's gone. The purpose is gone. Similarly, our human body, the human form of life, it's the most rare, the most precious. And we have got this human form of life. There are so many lives here: animals, insects, plants, trees, birds, flies, so many lives. But this human form of life is the most rare form of the life. And if we misuse this life, we can misuse a mobile phone without using user manual, then it is an unfortunate situation. So, dear friends and dear devotees, Bhagavad Gita is a manual for our human form of life. And the instructions given in Bhagavad Gita, the teachings given in Bhagavad Gita, the message given by the Supreme Lord in the Bhagavad Gita can be used for shaping our life, living a successful life, and fulfilling the purpose of this life. What is the final perfection of the life? So this is one of the important messages here. And dear friends, now I want to come a little deeper into the subject matter. Thank you for patiently hearing. Actually, when we are talking about something, we have to talk about the heroes of that story or that particular thing. And there are two heroes in Bhagavad Gita. One is Arjuna and one is Krishna. So Krishna, he's a supreme being in the human-like form. He come as a human-like form, but he's a supreme being. And Krishna acts as Arjuna's mentor, guide, and friend. And he offers a synthesis of philosophical and spiritual knowledge. And on the other hand, we have a representative of all the living entities, Arjuna. He is a friend, Sakha, and he is a devotee, and he's a disciple of Krishna. And Arjuna is a great personality. He's very qualified. He has many qualifications. He's not a very simple layman or simple person. Arjuna is a very qualified person. Actually, Arjuna was a great warrior. He's a great this archer, a great archer, a great warrior, great fighter, and he was belonging to a royal family, a great kingdom. He was brother of Yudhishthira Maharaj, who was the Chakravarti Maharaj. He is the king of the whole universe because he did the Rajasuya Yagya, a yagya by which he became the king of the universe. And he is the brother, the main person in that royal family, and he is like a king. Arjun, he has 4 very wonderful, beautiful wives, queens. He had children, and he was very beautiful, very handsome, very intelligent, very powerful, he has a full control over his senses. And yeah, he even went to heavenly planets to get weapons during the vanvas, during the exile. He even went with the same body to the heavenly planets, and he has a full. And one celestial lady, Rambha, offered her to make relations with him, and he said, "Oh, mother, I respect you." So he has a control over his senses, complete control. He's a great personality, and he is very humble. He is very respectful. His guru Dronacharya, he loves him. He likes him very much. And his great grandfather Bhisam Pitamah, he has a great affection for Arjun. So Arjun is a great qualified person for listening this subject. And Arjun is um, also he's a great personality. He has 14 names. Krishna has given 14 names to Arjuna, and one of the name was Gunakesh. Gunakesh means who has a full control of the senses, who has a full control on the nidra, on the sleep. And sleep is also called ignorance. Sleep means ignorance. Yeah, the sleep is ignorance when we are sleeping. And tamoguna. So he has born sleep. He has born ignorance. He was in light. He was in knowledge. He was intelligent, qualified, well versed with Vedic scriptures. And his name was also Mahabaho, very powerful, Savyasachi, who can operate the bow with the two hands. Then he was also known as um, who has collected the wealth. Dhananjay. Krishna says Dhananjay. Dhananjay means who is very wealthy, who has collected so much wealth for the society. So he has many qualities. But today Arjuna is in different situation. And today he has a different problem, different situation, and this situation can come in everybody's life. This can come in anybody's life. He is in the middle of Mahabharata war. There is a war planned between two brother families. One is Kauravas, Pandavas are their cousins, and this war is for dharma, for righteousness, for truth. And he's in the middle of the war, and it's the morning time. Sun is rising, and he's facing both sides. One side is his own brothers, Yudhishthira, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev, his uncles, maternal uncles. This other side is his cousin brothers, his grandfather, great grandfather Bhisma, his gurus, his cousins, uncles. His whole millions of people are there on the both sides. And now when he sees both sides, he's thinking both sides are my people. They're all my people. How can I kill them? How can I do this war? So he faced a special crisis, a special situation. At one hand, he has his family members, and he has to kill them on the his cousins, because they were on adharma. They were not following the truth. They were misusing. They were harassing the innocent people, and they want to rule the whole world in a demonic way. And as a kshatriya, as an administrator, as a military man, it is his responsibility that he should save the kingdom. He should save the people, the civilization. This is the duty of the king, to save the people, the normal people. So one duty was, as a military man, as a kshatriya, as an administrator, that he has to save the truth. He has to save the dharma. And what was the other duty? He has another duty also, full dharma. He belongs to a royal family. He has relatives, grandfather, uncle, and so many cousin brothers, Kauravas, 100 Kauravas, so many people are there, innocent people who are on the armies both sides. And he was in a dharam sankat. Dharam sankat means he was in a fix what to do. This is good or this is good. Actually, we face the problems in our life, but most of the time we know this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, this is should be done, this is not should be done, and then the situation becomes very easy for us when we know what is good, what is bad. But in case of Arjuna, both are good. This is also dharma, to save the family members. Why to kill the family members? Why to kill the innocent people, millions of the people? And the woman will become widow. So many women, so many sisters will lose their brothers. So many wives will lose their husbands. So many mothers will lose their son. This is dharma for him, na, that time. That why should I kill? And the other dharma is he has to protect the righteousness. He has to protect the truth. He's a administrator, kshatriya. So for him, it was both side dharma, kul dharma and his kshatriya dharma. And Can we discuss later because time is running? Well, we will have some time. Sorry, I'm sorry, but because we are a little bit in the flow, we will have a question answer time. So he has this dharma, both dharmas, and he has to follow one dharma because you cannot follow both. You have to fight or not fight. And now he was shivering, he was crying, he was nervous. The Gandiva, he has a dhanush, a bow. It was falling down, and he was crying, and he cried. You will see in chapter 1, he's crying, and he lost his composure. This is a great personality. Arjuna, we are talking some minutes before, we were talking about how powerful and this and that, sense control, Guna case, Dhananjay, Sabyasachi. Yeah, and now he's shivering, he's crying, he needs help. He's in a different situation. And this situation is called identity crisis. This is called identity crisis. This is a modern problem. The Prabhu says it's a modern problem. The identity crisis is a big problem. Many people have this problem. Most of the people have this problem, identity crisis. What is this identity crisis? The identity crisis, we can take one example. The example is, there is a mother, Alain Irsi and a mother, like she don't have a husband and she has a son. And the son is the everything for the mother. Son is everything. Because she likes his only son. He's the only son. There is a mother who has an only son. She likes too much. She wants to take him everywhere. She wants to care him, protect him, nurture him. She wants to do everything for him. And he's her life and soul. He is her life and soul. And she's identifying herself with him. And one day, God forbids it, nothing happens to anyone like this. One day, this son is died in an accident. And now this mother who is identifying with this son, she was always her life, he was his life. Now the son has lost the life, now she's alone. Now she's no more a mother because she was identifying her mother, herself as a mother because of him, because he has a son. And now her identity is lost. Now she is not a mother. The son is gone. Now she is crying for him. She don't know. She lost the identity. She is in a fix now. She is in a crisis situation. Who I am, what is my purpose in my life? My son is, I'm not a mother. My identity is lost now. So this kind of crisis happens. We also have crises like health crisis, financial crisis, job crisis. We have different crises, but this identity crisis is a very special kind of crisis. And this has happened with Arjuna at this moment. Arjuna is going on with this situation, and everyone had this inner battle that we are fighting with this inner battle. What is good? What is bad? Should I choose pleasure or satisfaction? Should I choose compassion or selfishness? Should I choose humility, humbleness, or pride? Should I choose love or hatred? This battle, this is going on, the inner battle in us. How should we behave? What should we do? What is right? What is wrong? So this battle is not Arjuna's battle. And some people may say, yeah, Arjuna is going through a battle because he's in a war. There's armies, but we are not in a war. We are not the armies. We are not fighting the war. Why we are in a battle? But this is not the external battle, my dear friends and devotees. This is not an external battle like Arjuna is in. This is an internal battle. And this internal battle is fought by everyone. We all are fighting this internal battle. So now there is one very specific situation. I want to maybe give a detail about it. What is this internal battle? Is it only for Arjuna? Then I will evaluate this internal battle in the 5 steps. What is this internal battle? Is it for Arjuna only? So the answer is, if we get the answers, how to get the solution of the internal battle. So there are 5 aspects of the solution. One is the answers, that when we get the answers, getting the answer for the most difficult questions of our life, the questions which even give the, sometimes the great scientists cannot give the answers to the questions. If we are getting the answers of such questions, so that means it is fulfilling our purpose. It is fulfilling our requirements. Then we have second thing, solves, that it should be able to solve our problem, our battle. Not only answer theoretically, but it should be able to practically solve our problem. And then what is the next is supports, that it should be able to support us, like, give us strength so that we don't escape from the difficulties. Just as Gandhiji says, na, that whenever I read Bhagavad Gita, I get the solution of my problem and I get a new perspective. And it also nurtures. It not only answers, soul supports, and it also nurtures. And nurtures means it give a all-round satisfaction, physically, mentally, consciousness wise. It gives what is good, what is bad, what is dharma, adharma, at the level of consciousness. So it also nurtures us. And the last is it motivates us. So it should be able to motivate, like, there are a lot of self-help book now, like in internet, there are thousands of self-help books. You read the books and you want to get some motivations. And there are a lot of motivational speakers. They want to also motivate people, but people cannot listen motivational speakers for a long time. And they also change motivational speakers. If you see now, they keep on changing, because the motivational speakers themselves are not perfect, because they have also their defects in their life. So if someone himself is not perfect, how he can talk about perfect? I know one in my company, in my organization, there is a seminar every 6 months. They went to an auditorium, and then one motivational speaker comes and he talk about a matter. And last time we have a speech about stress management and stress management and depression. And he was talking long hours about stress management. And then there was a pause. There was a lunch time. He came out in the lunch time. Then I was also out in the lunch time. And then he was smoking cigarette there outside. And then I asked him, why you are smoking cigarette? You are such a nice person, wonderful. You are telling all the nice things to everybody. They say, I got stress. I am talking 2-3 hours now, stress management, I got stressed. See, the motivational speaker himself is getting stressed, who is talking about stress management. How we can believe on these motivational speakers? They are not perfect. So we have to believe on something who is pure and who can guide us internally, externally, and who is perfect in himself. And in this way, Bhagavad Gita fulfills all our criteria. It answers our questions. Great personalities have already testified it. It solves our problems. It supports us. It not bodily, physically, mentally, consciousness-wise. It nurtures us. It motivates us, not like motivational speakers, but permanent motivation. So, eternal. So, what is the lesson from this section? The lesson is Gita takes us from confusion to clarity. This is the main lesson of this session. And I will not go much in detail now of these. I will maybe tell in the little more about next class, because there are a lot of nice wisdom here. And maybe I will tell something about, this is also, maybe we can go through. So I want to make a small quiz here, a little quiz, and then I have 1 or 2 slides, and then we will finish, and we will continue in the next session next Saturday. And now we take a little quiz, because we want to know your awareness, your attentiveness. So how many chapters are there in Bhagavad Gita?
18 chapters.
18 chapters. Wonderful answer. Yes. How many verses in Bhagavad Gita?
How many?
700. Anybody, any other answers? Okay. One is saying 2,500, other is saying 700. Rudra is saying 700. So what are the other answers? How many verses in Bhagavad Gita?
700.
Who is speaking?
Bharat.
Oh, Bharat Prabhu. Yes, 700. Rudra is also saying 700. So maybe you have fixed the match. And who else is saying different numbers from 700? Okay, we will believe on you. Okay, we believe on you. There are 700 verses. And how many voices in Bhagavad, when the Bhagavad Gita is being spoken, how many characters are involved? How many voices are there? Who are the 2 voices?
4 Sanjaya, Krishna, and
Who is there?
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra. Oh, who is saying this? Wonderful, very nice voice.
Rachana.
Oh, Rachna, very nice, wonderful, wonderful. So there are 4 voices. The first sloka is spoken by Dhritarashtra. Then there is Sanjay, the secretary of Dhritarashtra. He has the Divya Chakshu, transcendental eyes. Divya Drishti, he can see what is happening in Mahabharata battlefield, and he can tell to the king who is blind. Dhritarashtra is blind, and he's telling the live telecast, like we have live telecast now here in the former times. In the ancient India, we have a live telecast. Divya Drishti. vision, the transcendental vision. And Sanjay has the transcendental vision he got from Vyasadev, and he's telling to Dhritarashtra. And how many voices? Dhritarashtra has one slok. Sanjay has also 41 sloks.
Okay.
Then Arjuna has spoken 74 sloks, 84 sloks. Arjuna has spoken 84 sloks, and Krishna has spoken maximum numbers 574 sloks. So 574 sloks from Krishna, 84 sloks from Arjuna, 41 sloks from Sanjay, and 1 slok from Dhritarashtra. The first slok of Bhagavad Gita is Dhritarashtra. Okay, how many voices? And which is the longest chapter of Bhagavad Gita? You know, longest chapter? Okay, yeah. Longest chapter is 18th chapter, which has 78 verses. And which is the shortest chapter in Bhagavad Gita, if anybody knows. I want to just check the pre-knowledge of our participants. The shortest chapter. Some are saying first chapter.
Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga, 12th chapter, 20 verses.
Yes.
Yoga, 12th chapter. Who is answering?
Rachana.
Rachna's mom, Rohini, here.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yes, there are 99 plus people here, so we have more than 100 people. And actually, the capacity of our Zoom is also 100. So we have reached. Maybe there are some waiting in the line because our Zoom capacity on 100, and we have full numbers here. We can see at 8 o'clock in the night, Saturday night. Some people are doing party, and we are doing Bhagavad Gita party, Bhagavad Gita quiz. The longest chapter is 18th chapter. The second chapter, Lilarta Mataji is talking about second chapter. This is the second largest chapter. Second chapter is second largest, and 18th is the largest. And the shortest chapter, as Mataji said online, is the 12th chapter. It has only 20 verses. But there is another chapter which has also 20 verses, which is 15th chapter. So there are two chapters, 12th and 15th, which has 20 verses, the shortest chapter. And when was it spoken? What was the time period, and how many years ago this Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna to Arjuna in Mahabharata? 5,000 years. Many people are saying, anybody who can get little more specific, little bit more specific numbers? Yeah. How many? BC is correct. But what is the total years from today?
5,500.
So one devotee is saying 5,500. Others are saying only 5,000. Anyone who can tell this? When it was spoken? 5,160 years back. It is approximate, some years can be here and there. It is a long time frame. And who has wrote this?
Bhagavad Gita was told by Krishna.
Yes, but it was a Shruti. When Krishna made, it was a Shruti. It was by hearing. Krishna was hearing. He did not wrote. I am asking who wrote Bhagavad Gita?
Vyasadev.
Vyasadev. Yes, wonderful. It's a wonderful story. Today is a little bit late. I will tell the story how Vyasadev wrote this Bhagavad Gita, and this is a very, entertaining, spiritual entertaining story. I will tell in the next class this spiritually entertaining story. Vyasadeva has written along with Lord Ganesha this Bhagavad Gita, and they have a wonderful communication, very funny things happening there, and they are both serious, both of them, and great personalities, but then this story is very nice. And part of the which scripture? Yeah. Yes, along with Lord Ganesha. It is written here. Vyasadeva with Lord Ganesha. And part of which scripture? Mahabharata. Madhya Mahabharata.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the part of Bhishma Parv of Mahabharata. And who can read it? Now, this is interesting, actually. Who can read Bhagavad Gita? Who is eligible for Bhagavad Gita reading?
Anybody can read it.
Anybody? How can anybody? Can really anybody read Bhagavad Gita? Are everybody agree, or somebody has a different answer that who is eligible to read Bhagavad Gita? Has somebody different answer, like only Brahmana can read Bhagavad Gita, only Brahmachari can read Bhagavad Gita, a Grasta can read Bhagavad Gita? Who lives in? He's a great teacher. I think you will be the next person here on my place after a few years. Our next Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruv Maharaj. Rudra is saying anybody who believes in the message of Bhagavad Gita, message of Krishna, can read Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, wonderful answer. It is called Shraddha, the faith. One who has faith in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, then can only sannyasis read, only brahmanas read, only a young person can read, or only old person can read, only woman can read, or only purusa can read, man can read? Actually, there is no
No.
rules and regulations for Bhagavad Gita reading. Yes, who believe in it, they can read. It's very general. It is not that somebody is eating meat or somebody is drinking wine or alcohol, somebody is doing some other wrong deeds. He cannot read Bhagavad. It is not like this. Everybody, even somebody is eating meat, somebody is drinking wine, alcohol, and other non-regulative principles. Regulative principles. If somebody is not following the regulative, everybody can read Bhagavad Gita. It's for everyone. It's all purifying. That's why it's all purifying. It can purify everyone. So anyone can read. Who can understand it? This is now the important question. Who can understand it? First was only everybody can read, and now who can understand it?
Everyone can understand it.
Yes.
Der auf Krishna glaubt.
So one answer is from one gentleman is, who is searching for the truth? Who is searching God? Who is searching self and supreme?
In the chat
Right.
box,
Who is
there's
searching the- Yes, who is searching the guide? So Bhagavad Gita, who has the faith? Actually, who is searching the self? Yes, who has some, who tries to understand it? Who has uh, when somebody has a desire to learn it, he can understand it. It needs a desire, it needs will, it needs some faith and trust in the speaker. It needs some devotion. Somebody saying, a very senior Mataji, Gulran Mataji, saying that it needs a devotion. Yes. And yeah, I think we can finish it here because it's getting quite late. I have very, very interesting slides, very, very wonderful, interesting slides, and very thought-provoking slides, very inspiring slides. But this we will discuss in the next session on next Saturday at 6:30. I will request that the participants that thank you very much for your patience, for your so much of